What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of ABL Recap. We're coming to you from GSB Stadium 29 in Nonthaburi, Thailand. The action between the Mono Vampire Basketball Club and the Kuala Lumpur Dragons just finished. And what a game it was. My name is Yo Sermenta, and with me is Sajatam TK Kosambun, and we will go right into the action. TK, best start for Mono Vampire in its franchise history.
Well, yeah, they have got to be really happy about how this is going. They came into the season well prepared, had a lot of preparation in the offseason under their new head coach, Alab. They really focused on their defense, and they've done well to make it work, get everyone committed. And that's how they've really done well in these past 3 games to get the wins.
Staying on this topic of this historic start, what do you think has been their main ingredient for success?
Well, just getting everyone committed into their style of play, getting everyone committed on getting everything done on defense first before focusing on what they do on the offensive end.
So for Mono fans out there, best start in franchise history, 3-0. Last year, these guys started 2-12 before that late season push. And now we move on to the Dragons. They did a valiant job down the stretch, just couldn't pull it out. But the main thing that we can take away is their defense against Mono.
Oh yeah, they started off the game just putting the clamps down, just locking it. They held the Mono Vampire to only 53 points in 3 quarters. After 2 games where the Mono Vampire surpassed that amount in just the first half. So that's something that they can really hold their head high on to doing in this game. Just as you said, they put a really good effort towards the end of the game. It just wasn't enough, but I don't think it's that bad of a loss for the KL Dragons in this game.
A lot of positives for the KL Dragons. And staying on the Dragons, they only played 6 players, CK. 6 players, some key guys were missing. Can you explain why did the Dragons play just 6 players?
Well, yeah, you don't want to have any. I wouldn't want to say that Coach Jamie Perlman is going to use this as an excuse, and he did a great job. But of course, we have to mention that they were missing some key players: Kwek Tien Yuen, Cheng Hua Shin, Nicholas Tem. Those guys played key minutes in their first win against the Fubon Braves. Obviously, missing in this game for national team duties.
Yep.
They were missing their contributions, but again, they did really well nonetheless, despite those absences, and just have to move on forward.
Will this be a long-term problem? Let's say those 3 to 5 guys come back. You can imagine that roster rotation is going to be extended to 9 players. Will depth rotation will be a problem for Dragons?
Well, still, we have to mention that the Dragons are not the most experienced team in the ABL. They have a lot of guys coming in fresh. So depth will still be a problem. 7-player rotation in the first game, down to only around 6 players here. That's something that Coach Jamie Perlman has got to build on to down the road. But still, really good performance in these first 2 games.
Now, talking about key players, we have to discuss Chichay Ananti and Mike Singletary. Those 2 guys just absolutely fearless down the stretch, TK.
Yeah, and not only were they making big shots on their own, they were feeding off each other in transition, and they were just finding each other in the corner, whether it was in the corner, on the perimeter, just being able to get in those positions. And that's where the veteranness of the Mono Vampire kicks in. These guys know how to win in the ABL. They know how to play, and it really just showed down the stretch.
Just to piggyback on that idea, Mono is experienced, and to your point earlier, Dragons still try to feel each other out. So it'll be interesting to see how the Dragons will move on from this loss.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of homework for them to do. It's going to be quite a break. And the Mono Vampire themselves, they're on a high right now, 3 straight wins. They have to keep on carrying this. As you mentioned earlier, 2-12 to start last season. They have to know that there will be some bumps. Just got to keep everything together and just stay focused on maintaining their style of playing going on.
And before we guys leave you, one more thing we have to talk about. The main question, can Mono keep this up? I know it's early, 3-0, but where do you see Mono moving forward?
It looks promising. They're not just relying on only one player to make heroic performances over and over again. We know that Mike Singletary has been putting up monster numbers, almost a triple-double today in this game, but they've been really committed into playing in this system, and as long as they can keep everyone doing that, I think it's going to be a good run for the Mono Vampire.
So Mono Vampire Basketball Club with a 3-0 start at the expense of the Kuala Lumpur Dragons, and now we shift our attention to the games this weekend, TK.
Yeah, we've got an exciting weekend up ahead. Starting off with Friday, we have an early rematch between the Macau Black Bears and the Fubon Braves. That's going to be fun to watch. And then we follow that on Saturday with Hong Kong Eastern against the Fubon Braves once again, so a back-to-back matchup there. And we finish this weekend with a game on Sunday between the Macau Black Bears. They're going to have the tough weekend. They're going to be facing the Formosa Dreamers to finish it off. And what a cast of stars we have.
A lot of stars, guys.
A lot of stars. Kenny Manigault, he's been doing damage early in this season. Main guy, Mike McKinney, also doing well. Trey Kell having a great debut with the Hong Kong Eastern. Lin Chichia with the Fubon Braves. Just a lot of games, a lot of star power. Just don't miss it.
And before we leave you guys, well, we want you guys to follow our social media accounts right here. ASEAN Basketball League, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have got you covered. And that will do it here for my partner, Sajatam TK Kusambun. This has been Yo Sarmenta. And this has been ABL Recap, Rise to Greatness.